We have another success story interview. In this one, I talked to Adrian, who's a five-figure niche site student, and he's had great luck with his first site. Now, cool thing is he only has like 14 pieces of content, 14 or 15 pieces of content, and he just crossed the $100 mark. So, without further ado, let's get to the interview. Hey, what's up? Doug here, and I'm sitting with my friend Adrian. Adrian, how are you doing today?
Hey, Doug. Thanks for having me, Doug. It's really a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm really good. Really looking forward to have a chat with you.
Awesome. So let's hear some results. So you're a student of Five Figure Niche Site, and you enrolled in like 2017. I think in the October period. Is that right?
That's it.
All
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. October, yeah.
So tell us about some of your recent results as far as revenue and your traffic to your site.
The site just made last month my first $100 per month. It was $103.
Awesome.
So that was really, really nice. And then I've just checked today the statistics, and I have like between 60 and 70 people daily coming to the website, which is really unexpected for me. I didn't believe this is going to work.
Gotcha. That's cool. So if I'm doing the math right, that's about 2,000 people per month or so.
That's it. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that's really cool. Congratulations. I know crossing that $100 mark is sort of a milestone, although artificial, but congratulations. That's a huge point. Now,
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
one thing I remember, and people are going to be watching this on YouTube, of course, but Adrian, you were a viewer on YouTube just leading up to October, right? And you told me,
Yeah.
you emailed me, you said, I want to be a success story. And now we're sitting here. So congratulations. It's pretty cool. I remember that.
Do you? Do you really actually remember that? That's
Yeah.
really nice because honestly, when I decide to do something, I really go full steam. I'm really committed to make it a success story. So hopefully, it's going this website or maybe another ones that I'm gonna make in the future. It's just gonna go up and up and up.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I definitely remember it, and I think it's amazing that we're sitting here talking. So for people that are in the audience, this happens, right? So enough of that. Let's hear more about you, Adrian. So where are you from? Where do you live? What's your full-time job? Because you still have a full-time job, of course. So let's hear about you personally.
Yeah, well, originally I'm from Romania. I left Romania 15 years ago. I lived in Spain for 10 years, and 6 years ago I moved to London, which I'm currently living in London. I'm working in construction industry. I subcontract liftings, heavy lifting with cranes and all that stuff. Very, very nice job. I really like it. It's like playing with the toys for big boys.
Yeah, that's right.
For the last a year and a half, I dedicate myself between 12 hours shift on my cranes, family, I dedicate a little bit of time on the website as well, which I'm really, really committed to, make it happen for me as
Awesome.
well.
Very good. And do you remember when you first heard about affiliate marketing or niche sites or anything like that?
It was actually a couple of months before I heard about you. I was just talking with my missus in, those late night talks, just before you go to sleep. And she said to me, we should do something, online, because she doesn't want to go back to work. She was pregnant with the baby. So then that's when I started to look online about how to make money online. And I discovered Alex,
Sure.
our friend, WPA Eagle. And from him, I saw your first video with you talking about the website that you sold. And that just pumped me up so much.
Nice.
I really needed to meet you, to meet what you were doing, and know more about niche sites, which by that time I never heard of niche site. I didn't know what even niche was,
Right.
the meaning of niche.
Okay, cool. So if I'm doing my math right, that was like about 1 year ago. You were following our friend Alex Cooper over at WP Eagle. We'll link up to his channel. I did a collaboration with him. You found me, watched some of
Yeah,
my stuff. Got it. So you're
that's
only
it. Yeah.
about a year in.
That's yeah, about a year. So yeah,
In
June or July last year. That was, yeah, June or July
Okay.
last year.
Yeah. Wow, that is right about a year. So,
Yeah.
did you start any sites before you started working on Five Figure Niche site with me?
And not seriously. I did follow some tutorials, even some Alex tutorials, but just playing around with with WordPress and creating something, but nothing. I didn't know what I was doing,
Right.
basically.
Okay.
So that's why when I found out about you, I said I need something more because I'm a very methodic guy. So I need something to be, I need to follow some steps. That's what I liked when I heard about you, and then I started to follow up to follow you on YouTube. That's what I liked about what you're doing because
Okay.
you have a plan basically.
Right. And I was going to say, I know a lot of people, they have all this information, right? You studied a lot, you knew you
Yeah.
wanted to pursue it, but there's like 1,000
Sadly.
things that you could do, and you needed the framework to guide you through it
Exactly.
with a blueprint. And so you know that you're not
Exactly.
wasting your time. Okay. Very good. All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty and talk about, content and link building and all the good stuff, all the gory details. So, from a content standpoint, did you have a specific approach that helps attract traffic, to help you format and all that stuff? What's your approach with content?
On the content, I obviously use a lot the KGR system that you have. Most of my posts are actually ranking on page one because of the KGR. Then when it comes to the content, sometimes I hire someone to make research for what I need, and then I take over the article and edit it and make everything nice, and I give Google what they love to see. Nice formats. Not you don't need to have block of text. I add media, YouTube videos, the keywords that I need, at the beginning, somewhere in the title, somewhere at the end. Basically, I follow very step-by-step process as well when I create every single article. I'm very, very methodical about this as well.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And for the, you mentioned the KGR, which is the keyword golden ratio for people that are not familiar. Again, I could link for more information on that stuff. So when you are publishing one of those articles, how many times do you use the long phrase, the keyword throughout your post? How often do you use it?
I don't use it more than 3 times. I do it once on my H1 tag. If it makes sense, I use it on the first paragraph. I don't want to force it as well because then it will look forced and I don't like it personally. So I guess people doesn't like it either. Once in the H1, once in the first paragraph if I have the chance. Then I try to use it again on another H tag down the line, another time at the end of the article.
That sounds good. I was going to say I usually only use it like twice, and it's good to hear you, confirm what I believe too. But a lot of people use like an SEO plugin like the Yoast plugin, and they may use like a very long phrase like what's the best ballpoint pen for bullet journaling for a college student, and they use it like 8 times, and it sounds really weird, and people may not like it, but even worse, Google doesn't like it, so people will never even be able to, like, no one will ever find it. So the guiding principle here, don't listen to Yoast if you're doing like KGR research. All right, so as far as like keyword research, obviously you're using the keyword golden ratio, you're applying the formula. Do you have any tips for people like trying to find keywords, especially like beginners who maybe they're having trouble finding any KGR terms? So what tips do you have?
I'm assuming that if you're a beginner, you're not going to have like paid tools. What I used to use a lot, it's the Ubersuggest. Even if when you put a keyword that you need to find in Ubersuggest, even they give you the whole keywords that they find for that, you need to waste, it's not wasting time, but you need to go and, check every single one and do your maths. Unfortunately, the KGR, it works because there's no machine that can do it. So you need to dedicate a full day, maybe, when before you go and make, let's say, a list of 5 posts that you want to write about. Just dedicate a full day. That's what I do. I dedicate a full day just doing research on Ubersuggest. I used to use a lot as well the Google Keyword Planner. Even though it doesn't give you the right locally monthly searches, it's good for you to get ideas from.
Cool.
And another good idea for you to pick up some easy to find KGR terms is to go down in the
related searches.
Exactly, yeah, the related searches, and then you find really, really nice terms.
Sure. And I think a lot of times, I mean, we're going over the coursework basically here for 5-figure niche site, which is fine. But basically at that point, it's like you start with some seed keyword that maybe you found on Ubersuggest, right? And then, or maybe you got an idea from the keyword planner, right? And then you could hop over, search it in Google, and then see the related searches, which tell you, just other obviously related searches. Auto suggest is really good as well, right along the same, thought process too. Okay, cool. Really good tips. And actually, let's go back. Do you remember, was it pretty tough to find keyword golden ratio terms when you first got started?
No, it wasn't. I just got it. I mean,
all right.
I probably didn't understood the whole process, the whole idea about the KGR. But I did understand that you need to find, let's say, 4-word keyword that has, let's say, 20 local monthly searches. And then you just need to put your all-in title, call in, and the keyword that you are searching for. And that's it. If that's less, the LMS divided by the all-in title. The other way around. Yeah. It's less than 0.25, then there you go. You have a keyword that you can use for your website.
Yes, got it. Okay, very good. Now let's shift gears over to link building and stuff. And I know you and I actually had a coaching session a few months back to just sort of help you jumpstart that process. So can you tell us about your approach with link building and, how much link building you've actually done over the past 9 months or so?
I've heard you talking about the Grant Cardone's book as well, 10X.
Yep.
And it's all about massive action. So that's what I did. When we got to the part of the course where we're talking about the link building, I just went again with everything that I had, and I made in maybe 2 weeks, I made hundreds of blog commenting in hundreds of blogs.
Right.
But then I needed to shift a little bit. I needed to learn about the guest posting process. It was really tough because of the fear that we all have of being rejected, I guess. But then I realized that as soon as I started to send a few emails, and actually I was lucky that the people answered me back saying either Adrian, at the moment I'm not interested, or Adrian, at the moment we don't accept any guest posts. The more I was getting rejected, I was getting more confident. I don't know if it makes sense.
Right. You got used to hearing that. In fact, I think when we met, I think I was 90% of the people are going to reject you. Some of them are going to be really rude about it too, by the way. But you got over it. So the more you tried, you got better at it, right? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Then I don't have too many guest posts out there, to be honest, because so I have about 15 posts on my blog right now, and 14 of them are on page 1. Okay. Without any link building. So
did you say 15 total and 14 are on page 1?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's really amazing that I didn't need link building as of guest posting to rank those articles. I really wanted to learn how to do it. And actually, I got someone on a big blog to accept a guest post, and it went very well. Awesome. I have 2 guest posts.
Very good. And I think the other thing to mention, and maybe I'm jumping ahead a bit here, but I know you worked really hard on the site for the first, say, 4 or 5 months, and then life got busy for you, right?
Here recently. Definitely.
So I imagine, you took that massive action, you started laying the groundwork to get guest posts. You got 2, which is good. That's great.
Yeah.
And then, you've had to put a pause on that a little bit, right? So do you think you could have done more if you were able to, just have more time to dedicate to it?
Definitely. I believe that guest posting, it works, but at the same time, it's such a time-consuming, process, because you need to find the blogs, you need to build a relationship with these guys, and then after maybe 2 months of, changing comments and all that, you say, hey, Doug, you wanna, would you accept a guest post? And the guy would say, oh yeah, sorry, but Adrian, but I don't, I don't accept any guest posts or anything like that. But I'm sure I mean, I seen this business that you are, internet marketing. I see how you guys work together, and the networking that you do and all that, and it works. It works. So if I had more time, I would definitely go and do more, outreach. Definitely.
Sure. And I think, I mean, to that end, right? I mean, that proves the value of like those links, right? So they're so hard to get. You have to put time into it, and people
Yeah.
generally don't like it because, just to take the steps, like you talked about, just to get the sort of courage to send out those emails, to get the rejections. And then, what happens sometimes is you may send them a guest post and then they never publish it. So here you've invested all this time and then it just doesn't work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know that happened to me a couple of months ago, where it was a little bit my mistake as well. But we get to that part when maybe you want me to share some mistakes that
That's a
I've done.
good that's a good transition. So what mistakes have you made that maybe we can learn from your mistakes, and hopefully you won't make them again, but yeah, let's hear some of your mistakes that you've made.
I tell you two of them. I made two mistakes that I recall. One was at the beginning when I was so eager to start with everything. So I needed to have I wanted to have everything ready. And I haven't done the competition research or competition analysis properly. So once I just went and I said, you know what, I'm going to talk about something that I know around my construction site, for example. So I took that item, I took that a tool that we use on site, and I said, I'm going to talk about this. And then my surprise was that when I went and checked my sites and checked my ranks and competition and everything, I said, oh my goodness, I have my competitors are like the Sweet Home, the Wirecutter, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know if I'm going to make it. So that was my first mistake. Take the proper time to make the competition analysis.
Okay. And I think, well, I mean, obviously that is a really important thing to to check out. But
Definitely. Yeah.
interesting thing, right? Like you were able to overcome it through the keyword golden ratio. And in another interview that will come out around the same time period, I talked to Graham, who's another student, and he also was able to take an existing site where he didn't do the proper competition research and was able to, turn it into like $1,400-$1,500 a month over the course of a few months. KGR articles. All right. So that's
Wow,
how
that's amazing.
it was.
That's amazing. Yeah.
All right. So that was the first mistake, not doing enough competition research. What's
Yeah.
the other one?
The second mistake that I remember really well, because it was a little bit embarrassing as well, it was that I was exchanging emails with the blogger. His site is quite big. He accepted a guest post. So what I did, I went and I made a very beautiful article for him. I sent it to him. And just 5 minutes later, I said, Adrian, I so love it. I want it. Job done. I said, okay, happy days. I made a guest post. But another 5 minutes later, he sent me an email back again saying that it was full of mistakes, full of errors, grammar errors. That was because I didn't have this Grammarly program installed on my computer. So as well, the mistake was that I didn't went through the article and read it again, because I was so excited, so pumped up that, oh my God, I have an article on this big blog, and it was going to be so nice. And he said it's going to be so much work for me that I really don't want to spend the time and rearrange it. Or that was devastating.
Man, that's a rough one. We'll link up Grammarly. I've been testing it out, like the premium version here recently. And basically it's a Chrome plugin that works within WordPress. It also has native applications for Mac, I think Windows, and it'll check like your Gmail as you're typing. It'll check comments within YouTube as you're commenting on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I've used it, and I've used the premium version a couple years ago, but it was a little buggy. I had some issues with it while I was using it. However, I've been using it for the last month or so, and it's awesome. Like I'm
It's
finding
really good.
all sorts of mistakes. So do you use the premium version?
No, it's the free one. It's the free one, and it's really good for what it does. I mean, my English is not my first language, and obviously I have mistakes where I need to put, instead of on, I put in, and vice versa, or any kind of those
Sure.
silly mistakes.
Right. And it catches, I mean, just the free version, everyone, it will catch those mistakes. And I actually make a lot of just typing errors. And so you'll end up with, missed commas or commas where you don't need them. Or maybe one of my mistakes, I'll type in you instead of your. So, and it's a correct word. So when I just skim it, it doesn't pop up, but Grammarly will catch it. Now, if you want the premium version, it checks like even more for you, and you could also do a check for plagiarism as well. So if that's a concern for people, you can pay. I mean, it's not, I think it's like $100 a year, $120 a year. So I mean, it's cheaper than an editor, like 100% cheaper.
Oh yeah,
than
definitely.
So
Definitely.
Anyway, we'll link up to that, and I'm just excited about Grammarly because I liked it before, but it just wasn't robust, and it was buggy, but now worked great. So cool. So your two mistakes were get a proofread. You always got to proofread your stuff before you send it out, or use Grammarly, and don't get too excited. So, well, it's good that you learned from it. So now you got to send your best stuff as your guest post, right?
Definitely. Yes. I mean, what I did after that, I just took the article and put it on my blog anyway. It's a really good article. It's a how to do something, a process, and I believe it's ranking somewhere on the second page somewhere on Google.
Very good. So it wasn't a total waste, but I'm sure your ego hurt a little bit for a couple days.
Just a little bit.
All right. So let's shift gears again and talk about the impact to your life. So I know it's, $100 in the last month is not enough for you to quit your job, unfortunately. But how has it impacted your life?
First of all, I made my wife stop laughing because she said this is not gonna work. This is just a joke. Obviously now she believes me, and she's very excited because what this does is, I remember like it was yesterday, you talking about when we started the training, or before when I was listening to you on YouTube. Is like when you start doing this stuff, it's going to take you from here to there, maybe from affiliate marketing to SEO. You're going to get in love of the SEO, then you're going to do something else. And so many ideas pops up in my head. I mean, we talked about this as well on a chat session, as well on a coach session. And this is going to change my life in a way that now with my wife, we making our own product. So we're waiting for the people that work for us in Brazil to send us our products, and we're gonna make an e-commerce site as well, so we can sell it. And then we try Amazon. Maybe we're gonna try some Amazon FBA. Sure. Hopefully this is going to change my life in year or 2 years time. Hopefully the people who are watching this video, they're not gonna think that this is get rich overnight thing. It takes a lot of time and dedication, and but it is going to happen if you really want it badly, like I do. It's going to happen sooner or later.
Very cool. That's awesome about the product, branching out. And for the people who, I'll explain a little bit more about what you're talking about. So basically, let's say you have a full-time job and you're doing that. Maybe you're even learning a few new things and it's kind of interesting. But like once you start doing something totally different, for example, like working on a niche site where you figure out, I can make money online working like on my own terms, and there's no company or corporation that you're working for other than say like Amazon, for example, but there's no one that you're reporting to, and you could sort of like design your own situation however you want to. And then once you get there, right, you learn a bunch of skills and you have a different view of like your whole life. Right? You have a bunch of different opportunities. So as you mentioned, you learn SEO, you're learning about content, you learn how to hire people, you learn how to get traffic to your website, you learn how to do outreach, and any one of those things could be a full-time job. You could
set up an SEO agency. You can make probably multi six figures doing guest posting services, because as you see, it's pretty hard. And if you could do that for a corporation or a company or e-commerce site that needs like blog content and they have revenue to invest in outreach, well, then you can do that, right? So any one of these individual things you can get into, or like the whole WordPress ecosystem, right? So it was only a year ago when you learned about WordPress, right?
Yeah, never used it before. So.
Yeah, and now you could like set up a website for someone that'll look pretty darn good, and that could be a full-time job for someone too. So the point is, like, once you start taking action, you'll have a different view to be able to take advantage of like potential opportunities, whatever you want them to be. Like producing your own product.
Exactly. It's really amazing because it really opens your mind to what other opportunities, what other things are out there. I mean, now that I know the things that I know, I say to myself, what I was in the last 20 years, what I was doing in the last 15 years, why I didn't start earlier,
Yeah, that's right.
It's amazing.
It's funny. I think the same thing, but at least we found it, because I know some of my friends, like they're stuck because they have a big mortgage and a bunch of cars and stuff. So anyway, we're going off on a tangent, so we'll reel it back in. Now, Adrian, you've been in this for about a year. You're seeing some, the start of success. It looks like you're growing. For people that haven't started, or maybe they've just gotten started, what tips do you have for them to help sort of replicate the success that you've seen?
One thing that makes more difference, the most difference in this, is that you need to take action, definitely, because you see many people, and I've seen this in my last 3 weeks talking with friends at work, and they say, this and that. You need to stop reading and you need to do something about that. So don't just read for a couple of days and then apply what you just read, because otherwise you'll never learn. You're not going to do it. That's one of the things, that's how I feel productive, and that's why I believe I have my little success here. And another thing that I recommend to everyone to do is get an agenda or diary, or get yourself a whiteboard at home somewhere. I have one in my kitchen here, and start planning your day, your week, your month, your year. I mean, I'm sure you understand me because you're a project manager. So having to put your task on paper or on the whiteboard somewhere, that makes you psychologically somehow, you need to do them.
Totally agree on both points. Of course, planning ahead, setting goals, 100% on that. And then one thing I just want to emphasize again, you mentioned taking action over trying to learn more. We are bombarded with so much information. You probably, if you're watching this, you probably have enough information to take some action. We both appreciate you watching us till the end here, but
definitely,
a lot of times you know what you need to do, and the nuances don't matter yet, right? If you're trying to learn like the details of something like outreach, right? The outreach stuff that you were talking about, Adrian, you probably know enough. You won't learn like the nuances until you get out there and get your hands dirty and that sort of thing. Now, at some point, I remember another set of emails we exchanged, Adrian. This is going way back. I have a good memory for emails, I guess. But
that's good.
you were reading some other blogs while you were working on the course, and I had to remind you. I said, "Stop reading other stuff." Right? Do you remember this?
Actually, I did that, and I went one day to a little session on Alex's blog, on Alex's YouTube channel. And I said, "Oh my God, I shouldn't be here."
Right. We won't tell Alex, but you needed the time. Seriously, because there's so many possibilities for all the opportunities you can go after, and sometimes what you need to know, just do anything, and then you can come back and learn later. Now, I'm a proponent for learning, of course. However, just-in-time learning is something that came up in my corporate career a lot. So let's say you want to learn how to do better copywriting, right? But there's no point in you learning it until just before. So if you read a whole book on copywriting, Adrian, you don't need copywriting for another year. That's kind of a waste, right? Anyway, I'm glad I reeled you back in back then. But there's just so much information, and I'm guilty too. And a lot of times you just end up down a rabbit hole where you read more and more, and you're like, do I need to do that? when in
Exactly.
fact you probably don't. Most things you don't need to do yet. So, okay, excellent point, Adrian. All right.
There's one more thing that I believe that you just mentioned it, and I do remember when we start the training, you tell all your students that it's like when you go to a movie, you need to shut off your phones or put it on silence. If you guys watching this, you need to decide for just one guru out there and go with it. If you go with Doug, just ignore everyone else. If you go with Dom, or if you go with other big guys out there, just go with them. Don't listen to many people, because then you're gonna go mad and you're not gonna do anything.
Right. There's just too much.
It's a lot.
All right, Adrian, thanks for joining us today. And you don't have any platform out there, so the best way for people to, catch up with you, sometimes you're on a YouTube live stream and you're in the 5-Figure Niche Site Facebook group, but you keep a low profile because you're a busy man, you're a family man, right?
Definitely, yes. If you guys want to find me and chat a little bit about this, just join Doug's course, and we can catch up a lot on the Facebook group, where we actually help each other, with a lot of stuff in this area.
Awesome. Thanks again, Adrian. Just a pleasure to talk to you, and hopefully we'll get an update in a few months when you have more going on.
Definitely. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Doug, and hopefully next time it's not going to be a small success, it's going to be a huge one.
Awesome. Thanks, Adrian.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Adrian. Appreciate you taking time to speak with the Niche Site Project community. And if anyone has questions, please do leave them in the comments. Adrian will check them out, and I'll have a look too. So hopefully in a couple months, we'll be able to get Adrian back on for a follow-up interview. Thanks.